members, how the heck are you? Happy March 18th, at least the day that I'm recording this. Maybe obviously not the day you're watching this, but I hope your day is going well. So here's your weekly tech tidbit. The first thing I want to point out to you is on Tuesday I have a tweet coming out about a really amazing app called Microsoft Translator. It's actually already on my website under blog. I'm just waiting until teachers are back in their classes before I talk about it. But Microsoft Translator is an absolutely amazing app that I jokingly say it's the closest thing to the United Nations that might be in your classroom. It's very much like Google Translate, but with a better overall, I don't know if say idea, but well, let me just tell you how the heck it works. I'm going to guess you're familiar with Google Translate. The idea that you speak into your device and then it speaks out a different language, and it supports 73 languages. Thing is, to use Google Translate, what you got to do is you got to talk, then you got to switch the language so the other person can kind of talk back at you. I'm not complaining about Google Translate. It's a great app. But Microsoft Translator, I think, does a couple things a little bit better. One of the things is it supports conversation. So I can sit there and say that I'm having a conversation with someone in Russian, and it will go ahead and it will speak. I'll speak. It will translate to Russian. The person speaking Russian will speak, and then it will turn and translate back into English. I don't have to toggle anything. All I have to do is set the two languages in the beginning, and it knows to listen for them and then to translate accordingly. That's pretty cool. A lot of other apps out there you have to toggle each time the person is done talking to change a different language. Now here's the thing I think is really, really cool. It has a presenter mode. So I as a presenter can go and I can run Microsoft Translator. Then I can tell my audience to join me. There's a join code. They type in the join code, they choose their language, put on their headphones or their earphones, and while I'm talking, it will go and translate into their language. Think about this for a teacher in a classroom with students in their class that speak multiple languages. It's really cool. It's brand new, and if you take a look at it, you're going to see that it kind of suffers from its kind of brand new things. One of them isn't a pile of languages supported. I think it supports 12 right now, but they are adding languages fast and furious. So we're going to see more and more languages come out from them. The other thing is, it won't start translating until the person talking has finished talking. So unlike the United Nations where someone is listening to a constant stream, the teacher, the presenter, the person talking to another person is going to have to stop to wait for that paragraph to play. So a couple little, things that I wish weren't there, but we only have up to go from this. And it's, we need to start somewhere, is what I always say. So this is a great product out of the gate. So check it out, Microsoft Translator. Just Google it, you'll find it. And then go to my website, you'll see it on my blog. And then on Tuesday, I'll be tweeting it. So that's my little awesome little piece of my favorite thing that I saw this week. Okay, so moving on. The next thing I want to talk to you about is, I mentioned this last week, and this is this whole Rocketbook thing. So when I came home from my conference this week, I had one of everything that they made waiting for me. So Rocketbook got their start as a notebook that you would basically fill out, and when you fill it out, you could then, the Rocketbook Wave, which is still made, you would then put into your microwave, you'd put a cup of water on it, and then you would set the microwave and it would erase all the pages. And I'm only kind of doing it half justice to how it works. And this is the Rocketbook Everlast, which has a completely different way of allowing you to take your notes and whatnot. So let's go ahead and talk about the Everlast. I'll go through kind of the dynamics of it, and then we can get started. So here is the Everlast notebook. I'm going to go ahead and open this up. And what we have is, I had to kind of kiss goodbye in terms of the exposure of the camera, the lines, but I do have lines and have a very faint grid here. And then what I have up here, and I'm not sure if it's going to let me focus in on it, is you're going to see that there's very light colored icons. And you have 7 different icons across the bottom, and you have a QR code as well. The pens that you use have to be the Pilot Friction pen, because this pen is erasable. So this is an erasable pen. I mean, you don't need this Rocketbook to use an erasable pen. So if you said, wow, I love writing in pen, but I really wish that I could erase, you can go and buy these, and these are erasable, and they're pretty cool. I use them on a regular piece of paper, and it's not bad at all. So you got to use the Friction pens. So the next thing that you do is you head into your mobile device, and it works on iOS and Android and whatnot. And you go into the Rocketbook app. So I'm going to come in here into the Rocketbook app, and we're going to come in here to, let me find it. I'm kind of new to this, so I apologize. There's the history of what I've done. We'll come back here. We will look at what I'm trying to find, and you're watching me struggle, which is fine. I'm always cool with me struggling once in a while. Well, I think it's right down here, lower right corner, destinations. There it is, the thing in front of my face. So destinations will basically say you could customize where you want those 7 icons to go. So how it works is I'm going to take my notes, and then I'm going to put an X where I want this to go, and then take a picture of it. And so that's the workflow I'm going to show you. So you'll notice I have it set to go to my email account, to Google Drive. I have it set to go to Evernote, Dropbox, Slack, iCloud, and then another Google Drive, because I'm thinking of using this as a guest book when I'm at conferences. If I come in here to change destination, this will just give you an idea of some of the other services that it supports. I've heard some great examples. An administrator said that they use this to send their notes to their administrative assistant. I heard of a teacher that says they leave this in their classroom, and they have a mobile device that's set to one of their Google Drive accounts, and so the students can take pictures, and it goes into this shared Google Drive account. They also said that they use it for kind of like, he has different things on different tables, and he'll ask them questions, and they'll have to try to figure out the answer, and they write down their answer in a Rocketbook. So there's a lot of cool ways that you could go about this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my mobile device down. Now this is where you're going to have another chance to laugh at me. I'm left-handed, and so the way that I had to set this up, really, I'm going to bap into stuff, so you can chuckle along with the lefty. And I'm using my Pilot Frixion pen, and I'm going to go ahead and say, hey everyone. This is a Rocketbook. So that is the 0.7, which I know works better for the camera. I'm a fan of thin, so this is a 0.4 pen, which doesn't look, I just named it Pep, which doesn't look as good on camera, but I personally like the look. And here is a marker. This is a marker. And we also have highlighters, and they come in all sorts of colors and whatnot. Now I'm going to point out the highlighter, just a little heads up that I even waited an hour, and it will go ahead and it will smudge. So I think better uses for the highlighter are going to be things like that, because if you try to cover it up over whatever color you have, it's going to smudge it. So it takes about 15 seconds for these to dry. So just for fun, I'll move the dot around. You'll see actually right now, I can't smudge that. I'm coming through here, can't smudge that, can't smudge that, can't smudge that. So it didn't do a bad job at all. So now that I'm ready to send this off, I'm going to go right back to one of my pens, and I am going to mark that last one. And so we're going to mark this one right here, actually. And so I'm going to mark it. So I'll put an X. And now that I've put that X there, I'm going to come back here, and I'm going to say to my phone, and I'm going to say new scan. And we're about to probably see a scan within a scan within a scan. There we go. It says scanning, processing. And once it's processing, I'll click on done. And then I'll go off and send this. So where it's going to send is it's going to send it to my Google Drive. So let's go to my Google Drive. Let's see how long it takes to get there. So I have that one set up as Rocketbook Guestbook, but I have that in a different drive. So let me head here. And here is that item that I just wrote. So as you can see, it comes out pretty nice. I could save it as a PDF. I could also save it as a JPEG. And there's my note. So now you're wondering, so how do you remove this? So how do you remove it with the Everlast? The Wave was set for only a certain amount of notes that you could microwave. How you remove it with the Everlast is you can use any microfiber, and if you buy the kit version, it comes with a little microfiber cloth. So I want to point this out. This part is dry, and I'm going to come in here. Nope, so not too dry. It's still a little wet. I'm trying to find a part that isn't completely dry. So there we go. So as you notice, I'm really kind of doing that aggressively, and it's not, and this little point that I was using earlier was a little bit wet from a demo before. But I'm coming in here, and I'm really trying to give it, and it's not letting me. So what we'll do now is we're going to add some water to our cloth here. Then we'll come right back to where that is that. And bye-bye. And once you do this, it only takes about maybe 15 seconds. In fact, you can see a little sheen while the water is drying. Oops, forgot my little mark there. So you'll see a little sheen while it's drying, and then you're ready to go and make your next note. And someone, a Facebook friend, said they never mark it until they know that they're going to right away move it. And I think that's kind of cool. So so what would I say about it? What do I like? What don't I like? I find that I'm jotting notes more with this thing simply because I know I could wipe them clean. So this is, I'll be honest with you, I'm not a big writer. If I'm going to take notes, I'm probably going to use my computer. And I'm also, if I'm in a big old meeting, important meeting, I use my LiveScribe pen, which does audio, and I've explained this to the guys, and they understand why I was never this big team Rocketbook. But man, if I was taking notes via paper, this thing rocks. I'm using it at home for, like I said, just scribbling stuff, because I don't feel like I'm wasting paper, because I'm not wasting paper. So this has been my next to my computer notepad, and it's been working great. And I just scribble some notes and just clean them off, and off I go. And you know, this is just a really neat thing. I've been chatting with them a lot. They do have some things planned for the future that I think are going to be really neat. But from a standpoint of, you know, big note takers, students, geez Louise, teachers, this thing is great. It's a reusable notebook, which is pretty neat. And then your content goes into the cloud, and you have 7 different places that you can send it, which is pretty neat. The paper itself, so it's kind of slick. And when I say slick, I don't mean it how I say slick, because I say slick a lot. It's slick. It has a slick texture, and in the beginning when you write it, it does feel slick-ish. But it's actually a lot more natural than you would think. So, I mean, I was actually kind of surprised how well this thing writes and how it feels like paper. So I've been pleasantly surprised with that. So this is, once again, I'll just write it here. This is the Rocketbook. You can find them online for $34. This is a mini version, which I think is the same price. They also make an 8.5 by 11. They still make the Rocketbook Wave, which is cheaper now. I want to say it's like $22. It used to be more expensive. They sent it to me because, first of all, I've been mentioning it in my gadgets class, and people have been saying that they've heard me mention it in a gadgets class, so they wanted to know who the heck I was. The other thing that they talked to me about was doing a custom Rocketbook, which, depending on the price, I think I'm definitely going to pull the trigger on, because I do a lot of conferences, obviously, and they're always asking for if I have a book to sign, and I don't. But I could use this as a book to sign and bundle it with a membership. So that's my plan. For my members, if I do pull the trigger on this, I'm not sure if they're going to let me sell it at my cost. If they do, that means it's probably going to be a little cost reduced. But I'll place that in the membership area, and I'll place a logoed Rocketbook in the membership area, available for signature if you want me to sign your Rocketbook. But I still have absolutely no idea of what their pricing is, and if it's going to be something that's going to be viable to do. So I wanted to introduce it to you, and then also, please, I posted this on my Leslie Fisher page on Facebook, so please feel free to share your thoughts or whatnot. I always love learning just as much as I love teaching. So this is the Rocketbook, and if you have any questions, you know where to find me, and I hope you have a wonderful week, and I will see you online, and thank you so much. And for my members, I will make sure that you know that I I still owe you that Google Classroom presentation, all nice and pretty. It's going to rain all week here in Southern California. So I have 3 weeks off, so you'll be seeing some additional content come from me. And once again, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for being a member. It really means a lot to me, and it's helping the quality of my presentations, and it's doing all sorts of good stuff. So thank you so much, guys. You have a wonderful week. Thanks, guys. Bye.